Hello, and welcome back to Rebooking to Mastery, a podcast presented by me, Juggin, someone just trying to spread some ideas that I've read over the years and things that I feel are important to know or understand. For all old listeners, welcome back, and for new listeners, welcome. In this iteration of the podcast, I hope to dissect the 30 Strategies of War, which is one of 3 books I'm co-analyzing at the same time. The other 2 being Think Like a Monk and Grit. So if you'd like to hear those, hear about spirituality or some practical ways of looking at your own grit or perseverance, feel free to check those other episodes out and stay tuned for more episodes that I will release throughout the next coming weeks. So the book I'm going to analyze, like I said before, are the 33 Strategies of War, a book by Robert Greene that talks about practical ways in order to kind of strategize your life and strategize a sense of warfare around whatever you do in order to ensure that you make yourself a grand tactician or a strategist that kind of can navigate their way around the world and ensure that the mistakes that we make, which we will inevitably make, are minimalized and are learned from. And so a lot of strategies he talks about focuses on this idea of warfare. And so this book is split into, I think, about 4 parts. And so the first part, which is what I'm going to discuss, one chapter of, is self-directed warfare. And so the first law of the 33 Strategies of War are to declare war on your enemies, the polarity strategy. So one way of looking at it is that the greatest obstacle for a lot of people, myself included, is really nothing but myself. It's not really that a certain person stands in my way, a certain statement stands in my way, a certain organization stands in my way of me accomplishing what I really want to do. In the end, your greatest obstacle is nothing but the person that looks at you when you look in the mirror. This is as similar to the obstacle as the way. If you shift your perspective, if you shift your way of looking at a certain problem, situation, or person, or if you shift your view on your current state, you can turn yourself from a passive bystander to your own life to an active participant. Imagine you're in a situation that you feel like is negative. You feel like say you're in a corporation or you're in an organization that you feel very ostracized from. You feel very out of place or out of touch. While you may want to, and you in part may be due to the members around you, if you simply shift your perspective and look at it in a different light, more often than not, you'll find yourself moving away from this learned helplessness of nothing is in my control and I must play victimhood to something more like I will be an active participant in my life and I will work to move the right pieces to get what I want, may it be slowly or fast. And so one way you can shift your perspective is to, instead of present something as intangible as oppressing you, look more at a specific enemy, look more at a specific target, look more at a specific person or situation, and focus on that. Focus on a person, a situation, a thing that has wronged you, or blocked your path, or hurt you. And this may just be your own mind. Sometimes our own mind is its own labyrinth that we cannot even parse through as easily. So just focus on something tangible. Focus on something that is easily representable by a sentence or something that has content or solidity to it. Because this enemy will become your North Star. This enemy will become the star through which you dictate a lot of your actions. Because if you focus on something tangible, you focus on something that you can grasp, you now have certain goals you can make and certain ways of life you can find yourself following. And so this leads to the idea of the outer enemy, like I said. And so, as some of you might have predicted or might think, some of the public will hate you, especially if you show express desire of this, not hatred, but this enemy, like this. You're looking in one place and you have an enemy on the other side. And you're going to end up having some of the public dislike you for choosing a stance, because opinions are many, truth is also many, in different ways of looking at it. So you will polarize some people, and you will drive some people away. But in the same length, you'll also create space for battle. You'll create space for you to charge, take control of your own life, and push forward. And constant battle, constant state of having an enemy or having something to work towards, not only similar to a goal, will also keep you more alert and will keep you looking at the world around you from an outsider's perspective, ensuring that you stay as objective as possible. And that is a cost that, in my opinion, is worth bearing. Because a lot of us run into this issue of staring at something in the far distance, staring at an issue we cannot control in the far distance. However, if we just shift it 180 degrees, 90 degrees, however you want to visualize it, to something that you can control, something that you can do, a battle you can fight, a North Star you can set, then you find yourself in a much more tangible position, you find yourself with more set goals, and you find yourself in a state where you can move forward with certain actions and you can take the steps necessary to move the obstacles in your way. And like I said before, it is going to be at the cost of polarization of certain individuals. But the benefits are that your state of mind and your happiness is present, and you move toward your end goal. This isn't an advocacy for you to start backstabbing or for you to start being very manipulative, but rather a shift in perspective that can allow yourself to view the problem situations that you are in a better light. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Rebooking to Mastery. If you'd like to hear more content, drop me a follow on Instagram and TikTok at Rebooking to Mastery, or subscribe to the current podcast. Thank you, and see you guys next time.